think that there was just going to be this moment where like, oh my God, I've made it, right? But he said he realized that it just happened. Like he would just wake up and be like, I'm doing it. Like it's happening.
The mindset shift that we have all had as of the past few weeks, we've like been able to harness it. Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Next Gen Traders YouTube channel. We are recording episode 16, meaning that we have been recording for almost 4 months now. We have no idea where this time has gone, but we have been loving making these episodes, and we can't wait to watch them back in a few years once we start finding success. Xander is going to have to leave this episode a little bit early. So if you see him cut out, it's not because he said red to green, because that's what usually happens. When he says red to green, he always gets cut out. So yeah, Xander's going to leave a little bit early, but yeah, we're looking forward to this episode. Going to get the normal times down with the OTC enlisted market, talking about how our trades went this week, as well as a little bit of a September recap. Just a quick little recap of September. Then we'll have a little bit of open discussion, and Sam will close us out at the end. So Xander's going to go first, as he always does. Gotta love Xander. If you haven't seen the last episode, go watch the last episode.
Gotta get that on.
It was amazing. And Xander, take it away, man.
Yeah, so this week, I say this every time, but like every week, my knowledge growth is being exponential. Like I can just tell every week, like I'm learning an exponential amount. I really this week made a solid game plan that I'll talk about right now. If I break this game plan, I have to buy Sam some MIC merch. Yeah. And that's because my problem is that I always switch setups and I'm always changing things, but I made a solid game plan, and to make sure I don't leave it, I'm not gonna buy Sam merch, so I'm not gonna not follow the game plan. So this week is going to be the start of a huge transition. I think October is going to be huge, but that was my week.
Yeah, for me this week it started very eventful. The first 2 days I made 4 trades, but then the rest of the week I managed just one position that I'll talk about later. So yeah, that was like the first time when I had the bigger size of not size, I mean the long term. Like I held the stock for 3 days, so I only managed that stock, and pretty much that's all I did this week. And I had more winning trades than losing trades, because usually I always have more losers than winners, but still green. So this week was just great. Yeah,
really awesome. I've been really tuning up, putting my lessons together with my mental state, as well as just fixing all of my little things. I'll talk about this later, but I more than double my win rate this week from the past few weeks. So I'm really starting to put everything together. And like Xander and Alex said, and Sam is going to say this in a second, we're ready for this month to start capitalizing on the opportunities at hand. So that's super quick for me. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this week was really powerful for me. The anticipation is in the air, I know, for everybody here. I had a trade on Friday, which I'll talk about in a quick second, but I just felt like it set a new kind of level for us. So I felt really good this week. I'm getting my morning routine down. I'm feeling confident in my trades. I'm learning to trust my gut. I told myself I was going to start October off right, and I feel like it has. So this week has been really good for me. So yeah, very, very pumped. Market conditions, it was an interesting week. I only took 1 trade this week, and that's because most days it was incredibly slow. There was just nothing going on. There was CEI, of course, for those of you who were watching that, it ran major during this week and then had a fake offering, and it plummeted like crazy. So that there was a lot of action on that. But other than that, super slow week, and I'm hoping we'll pick up a little bit.
Yeah, the listed market is just, as Sam said, CEI triggered DATS to go, and those two together kind of created their own little mini hot sector with I don't freaking remember what they are. Palt was one of them, and then
DATS.
Grom was one of them, and
EEI.
Yeah, DATS.
Yeah, there was just a whole little mini hot sector together of those stocks. Other than that, it was a super slow week, like Sam said. A lot of just not good follow through, a lot of choppiness. So once we get that follow through back, I think we'll all be feeling much better about what we're seeing. So
awesome.
Yeah, for OTC market, we're definitely hitting up coming into the October. this week there was a lot of big runners, especially TLSS. Very excited for the next month, like for the next week, because there are so many, like when I scan through all the stocks, there are many potential swings. I have one starter, and yeah, because this is the right time when you have to push harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, the OTC markets are definitely heating up.
Oh, nice comment.
Wow, Xander, that was a really in-depth analysis you got there. That was, wow, round of applause for that one.
Love it.
So yeah, getting into my trades for the week and some monthly stats that we can go over. So this is all that my stats of September. It's pretty much a break-even month. Even with commissions, it was like I only lost 2R, which is like nothing. It's break-even for me. Like I see a lot of traders, their drawdown is like plus 20R negative on the week or on the month. And so negative 2R is break even. I really don't care about the money. But this month has been like just a mess, really. But towards the end, I really got everything sorted out, like I just mentioned, like with my new game plan, which I describe in detail in my YouTube monthly recap that I go deep in on. That'll be uploaded very soon on my channel. But looking at some of my trades, I'm focusing on the VWAP short for all of October. That's a part of my game plan. So just going into some of my trades this week that are the VWAP short was ALF. This one, I covered 50%, a little bit more maybe on the first wash, and then I got stopped out. So it's whatever. It's a break-even trade. This happens, especially with a ticker like ALF, like super, like this is a known headache stock. But still, I'm going to trade every VWAP rejection because overall I'll be more profitable by trading all of them, other than like trying to use my knowledge to avoid some. That'll just cause other problems down the road and hesitation and stuff like that. So I'm just trading all like ideal VWAP shorts. Another one is SDPI. This is my best chart to date, probably. I have some other really good looking ones, but this is like one of my best charts. As you can see, really broken down day one. On morning open, we get a pop to the 150 line, which is also, it's a $0.50. It's a really key support, and it's VWAP. And so I had scaling plans like the tape. We were really rejecting 150, and it really wasn't breaking it. So I just slammed on the rest of my size, which still I was risking. Like if I set my risk accordingly, I was literally risking $6. So really, what I could have done instead is just I needed to locate more size, and I could have slammed on a lot more shares, a lot. And this would have been way more than a 1R gain, which it was only a 1R gain. But the scale out is what's awesome. I covered 20% first bullet, 50% at the low of day, and then it's like 30% down here. I really liked how I scaled out on this one, like really perfect, honestly. So this is just a really good trade all around. My most recent one was Prague. This one, I overthought too much. I simply got stopped out. I think a lot of the time this play will work, but my key in October is just to not overthink the losses. As long as I'm taking the setup when it's ideal, I don't need to overthink why it failed. Of course, I can review, but with my advice is to review maybe like a day after you take the trade, because if you review while you're emotional, you'll start coming up with all these weird reasons that aren't probably true. So if you review your trades with a clear mind, then you could see what you failed to do. What I realized after reviewing this with a clear mind was that it was a good trade, and I'll take this multiple times and probably be profitable. Like I was expecting the 190 line, which is this line right here, which is also VWAP. I was expecting that to have a just quick pop and drop, just fail and break the low day, but that didn't happen. That's because there was no other hot chicks, so this one got the attention. The number one mistake on this trade was that I combined two theses. As you could see, my stop was like pretty far from VWAP and my entries. It should have been way lower, but I really wanted to let the $2 line to see if that would reject. I added full size here. That's my confirmation. That means it should not reclaim whatsoever. Okay, once you slam on full size, you need to have a tight stop. because once you slam on full size, that's when it's really, really confirmed. Or else just don't slam on your size if you don't think it's fully confirmed. So this was a little mistakes here, but I think it was a fine trade, honestly. Sam did really good on that one, and he waited for the outer lines, which is always, it's higher probability, and you can get just as good risk reward, but the frequency is lower. Because not all the time it's going to hit outer lines, but it's always a safe way. And now this is an OTC paper trade. I'm getting into OTCs. And my Schwab account is open tomorrow. It's good tomorrow.
Yes.
Me too.
Yep.
Me
Things
too.
are gonna happen in October. I know it. But this was a second day of the breakout. So as you can see, this white line was the multi-day breakout line. And after it broke, it really didn't have much continuation, kind of, because it was at the end of day. And then so it gapped up, and then it had a morning trigger. And that I was just playing it for the second day breakout continuation. And I scaled out, really letting this test itself. Yeah.
Talk about the risk, how you held.
Right. Oh,
look at Alex.
yeah.
He's so happy. He's
right.
so happy.
So Alex has been helping me out a lot. Me with my listed mindset, I really want to have tight stops to get like the best risk reward possible. But with OTCs, like, I don't know, a lot of the time they'll just get you stopped out if you have a really tight stop. You need to have a really solid risk level where it's not, if it breaks, then your thesis is gone. So my risk level here was, so my risk level here was low of day. And as you can see, if I had my tight stop, I would have got stopped out. And so that's a huge lesson, just to pick the best risk level. And if you don't get risk reward, if you don't get good risk reward with the best risk level, then it's a no trade, or just wait for a better setup later. But yeah, I scaled out on this first morning push, and because it is a second day breakout, on the daily chart, it's like pretty overextended. So I don't want to be too greedy with the sells. And the risk reward wasn't very good. 1.6 R is not very good, but I did sell into strength 1/3 size there. And then I let it have a chance to do it all midday. And then I sold a little more into this push. And honestly, I was at school looking at my phone, and I was just like, okay, here's a push. Let me sell another second half into it, especially because we're like midday and we're at the highs. And I let it have a chance. I really thought it was going to break here. But when I got home, I pulled up the level 2, and there was like a 7 million
more like
offer. There's 7 million shares. Yeah, it was like 9 at one point. So like there's no chance. Well, there's a chance if he drops or if there's a lot of people buying, but it was going to be tough to break high a day. But a lesson was, Alex suggested that I either, I adjusted my risk. I think it was like to 0.0076, or just sell right at the end of the day, because a lot of time there is like a push at end of day. And that would have been more profitable if I just waited to end of day. But I got emotional and I just sold. So I won't make that mistake again. But yeah, this was a pretty awesome paper trade. Just getting into it, getting into OTCs again. I'm really excited about that.
Yes, he is.
Very clean. Very clean.
And Alex is also very excited. Look at him. He couldn't stop smiling the whole time.
And I love what you said, Xander, when you were going over your Prague loss, where you're like, if you are entering at the optimal place and it's a high chance of winning, don't overthink your losses. Like, losses happen, don't overthink it. I will go into mine here. Let me share.
You said you wanted me to see something?
Yes,
before I leave?
Let me go into my screen here. Can you guys see it?
Oh my gosh.
All right, so before I get into my trades here, I'm just going to show you
Yes.
guys. This is what Xander will be sending me at the end of the month here. This is, for the record, this video is not sponsored by MIC. I do not get
good note.
anything for
Good note.
advertising that.
I'd rather blow up all 3 of my accounts.
So if you guys see me wearing this hat for our episode going over our October recap, you know what happened. Okay, so this is the hat in that video.
My gosh.
Anyway, on to the trades. So I'll go over my 2 trades. My first one was on Alf.
First, I'm gonna leave.
Oh, yeah.
So
Xander's got
I will
to head
see you
out.
all. I'll see you all in my recap, which I'm uploading very soon, and I'll see you guys in the next week's episode.
Yeah.
Next week should be huge because I hope we'll have a good trigger and I'll play it. So next week is gonna be huge. I can't wait. And VWAP. I'll see you all in the next one.
All right. See you, bro.
See you, Xander.
Yes.
See ya.
All right. So now that Xander's left, we can get into the good stuff. Here's my Alf trade. This was at the beginning of the week. Of course, as you guys can see, I was playing this for a VWAP rejection. My entries on this, I'm really happy with. Going in, if you guys remember last week, I talked about how my goal was to widen my stops. So I wasn't getting stopped out, giving the stock a little bit more room to breathe. And also with those VWAP rejections, I was planning on adding like one line above VWAP, just along with that, letting the stock breathe. My risk level was, I think it was yeah, actually you can see it here. So it was like 820, so very wide. So, but I had risk and reward in check and everything. Now when it quickly rejected VWAP like this, I did take some off really fast, but I didn't take full position. It was only a 50% cover. And as you guys can see, this stock became very tricky. Alf, they call it the headache stock. I think Xander just said that. And it just continued to grind up over the next few minutes. So I ended up stopping out for the rest of my position. Overall, though, I'm happy with this trade. And I learned a big lesson from this of being nail and bail on this. A lot of people in MIC, they got this same trade, but they exited their full position here by this 770 line. So I just took this going in of making sure nail and bail, but I stuck to my risk level and I was happy about that. So it was a small loss, but overall, I'm happy with my way I executed it. Now going into the real treasure of the week, my prog trade, PRO.
Christmas tree.
Christmas tree. So I'll do this big picture here. Of course, I was playing outer lines on this. This was the pre-market action. This top line here was at 249 was where I was going to stop out. So this was my hard stop. And originally I was planning to scale 210, 220, 30, and 40. I usually don't scale this much. I usually have things tighter, but like I mentioned in the last episode, I've been really focusing on, as I said, going into October, I'm really just going to focus on playing the lines, just executing with my gut. And when it, rejects the line, I'm going to add to my winners. So that's what I just did with this. Of course, I got my 2 entries in here, but it didn't get any higher. So let me show you guys kind of how I adjusted it and played it for the day. So I told myself at 9:30 exactly that I was going to be ready to channel trade this if it presented itself, and that I was going to be nail and bail, and I was going to be in and out really fast, just lock in and re-enter. I've never done this before. Obviously, for you guys who have seen my charts and of course the tag group here, it's usually just a couple entries and then I scale out and it's just one trade done. But I told myself I need to get more comfortable with trading. I need to become more one with the stock. So what I did here, I mean, makes me emotional. No, I'm kidding. But no, I'm really proud of this. So I got this line here. I covered fast at VWAP support. I re-attacked at the same line. Of course, you guys can see I'm just playing on the same lines going across here.
Yep.
So I re-entered at my 207. I added at 217, which was a perfect little top tick here. And then on my way down, I'm just locking in gains. So I covered 50% of my position here at 207 line again. I don't know exactly why I didn't cover here. If I'm being honest, I could have covered here, but I was wanting to keep a core position. So I had, I think it was about 30% of my size that I continually recycled. So I was adding and exiting, but I continually had about 30% size that I just held throughout the whole trade. So then once it popped back up here, I added again at the 207, covered at this line. At this point, I still had 50% of my position. That original, it was about 50, 30%. And once we had this major breakdown like this, I covered fast right here, obviously just locking in gains. I would have covered some at this line, but I knew that once it broke VWAP, it was going to go down farther. So I didn't want to, cover so fast, because if it was going to break VWAP after this kind of sideways action here, consolidation, that it was going to go farther. I did try to get an entry on this wick it just missed me by like 2 cents. So I would have liked to have had another entry here to gotten more size, but you know, it's not perfect. So I exited here really happy with it. And then I just told myself, all right, what's the next step that I want to do? And I told myself it would be the VWAP rejection. So I just had another entry here for the VWAP rejection, again, playing off of this same line. I think this was 196 here. And I almost got an entry at the 207 line again, but it didn't quite go up high enough. So I just got this one entry, held it through and covered here. I actually tried to cover at this line, but it took a little while to execute. So I got a little bit better of a price. So, but overall, this trade signifies so much for me. It signifies that I stuck with my gut. I did what I said I was going to do. I didn't allow emotion to overcome me. And I just stuck to the plan. I played line to line, and I was really, really proud of this. I'll let the other guys get into their trades, and I'll go a little bit more in depth into this when we kind of go over what we're looking at for the coming week. But overall, I'm super proud with this trade, and I hope to be able to repeat this every single day with the same confidence that I had coming into this. So those are my 2 trades, of course, the hat, and that'll finish off my section here.
I love that, like you said, line to line, Sam, and how you just trusted your emotions, trusted your gut, and see, now you know like exactly what you're looking for. Now it's just rinse and repeat in preparation for when the follow through comes back, and then it's just going to be over and over and over again.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, my turn, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So my first trade was on CGGI. This was a panic dip buy, and it was on this day. So you see, this is A plus. Like this is A plus. You see, after a huge breakout. Yeah, I think I missed this breakout. Like this was a big picture breakout. Like all the it spiked from here, and then you just have to hold through all this. So it had the panic right away at the open. I saw that level 2 was just perfect. Let's see, it was on this day here.
Oh,
and
those are pretty.
Yeah, so well, that was a break-even trade, and let's see why. Look, so so I sold them, you know, when they panic and then they have the pause, right?
Yeah.
So I saw that, I felt that was at 19. Then I had my order prepared, and then when I saw the prints go on and then the ask lift up, I clicked buy, but then right away it wasn't a fake out, but just like a little like level 2 fake out, I don't know, and it just went to 18.6, and then the second when I saw a panic, I just, because that's my approach for panic.
I remember watching this, yeah,
because it easily could have dropped all the way here, so I just sold right away, and I guess my sell was already on the bounce because I got executed easily. So I think when I sold, someone bought the dip. So yeah, and it just bounced. I mean, the bounce wasn't that big actually, because I expect move from here right away, because you saw the big daily chart. But I guess if the panic was to here, then I would have panicked nicely. But still, I would have held. And I remember I said after this trade that today, not today, in this market, panics they don't bounce, they grind up. So you see here, I think you should have had the risk on the low day, I guess, because even though I never risk low day on the panics, because this move from here, it's not even 10%. So to get the real meat of the move, you have to hold through all this. So you just have to stick to the risk, I guess. But it's still, it's not we'll see if they continue working like that, then I'll just adapt to them.
Dang. Good thesis though. You had that beautiful entry. So sometimes it just gets the best of us, but your thesis was correct.
Yeah, and awesome. This was a perfect look at the volume exhaustion here on the 1 minute candle. Yeah. 33 million on the 1 minute.
Jeez.
So next trade was on TLSS, but I'll talk about it when because I made 2 trades, so I'll go over this one first, and then. So my next trade was on ENZC. We see this is beautiful. Wow. This is beautiful wedge here, and then my trade was on 27th, so it was here, right here.
That's Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, then the next day, on 28th here, when it had the breakout already. So I was playing the next day, but I mean it was still breakout because this day just spiked into the close. So the thesis was it wasn't really a swing. I was just playing as an intraday thing here. So if we go, yeah, it was on this thing here.
Oh,
I was managing other position at this time. So when I saw this late day, I was like, okay, let me take like a shot here. And this was actually a really good entry here on the, see this trigger 17. So this was the perfect entry here. And I missed, and then I just got it like a little high because the risk was still like 3%. So I got full size here. And so yeah, this was, see, this wasn't even 2R because this was, I think this was more of a high odds setup than risk reward. So as soon as it spiked, I sold, that's not third, like some part here. And then I sold all the rest into the next push because I really thought like that was it. But then it spiked like, so overall that was 1 to 5 if I held through. Like if I sold here, that was 1 to 5. So still was successful one, but that just took like more conservative approach in the conservative market. So yeah, that day, yeah, I remember that day nothing was moving, only this stock and like TLSS. So it was very, very like choppy. So this was like a nice signal. Now
I have the exact same wedge drawn on the daily chart on that stock. That's a good watch for this week.
Great minds think alike.
So now let's go to the play of the year. Okay. So
look at it. Beautiful.
Okay. So I saw this stock. Let's see this chart, right? I saw this chart right here on this day, 27th. 27th. Then so this is painful. I mean, it's not painful. I capitalized nicely, but still. So my first entry, go to more day, was go here. We see this beautiful trigger right here.
Yep, clean.
The second I saw this chart, immediately, this is my play. However, the thing that I wrote a blog post about this whole trade, huge blog post. I'm gonna include it in the description below.
Yeah.
So when I saw this right away, I knew this was my play, but the thing that I failed to understand was that it was a big picture move. Because see, it wasn't like other stocks when they already like up here, and then you played the secondary breakout. This was the first breakout, you like breakout here. See, we have this like little move and then consolidation, and here was like a little breakout here, but then the big picture breakout here. I saw
making
it, but
higher lows.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't think about like entering here and then holding through all this. So I have the notes for my first trade. Let's see. Yeah. So my entry was perfect. I put my entry right when 21 was broken, but I mean, you don't get the best entry every time. Right. But it was like on the big picture, it was perfect entry. Like I recognized early. That was the first ones there. So and also the thing is, I used this as my risk when I was calculating my position. So I had the small position because then I realized that this is actually the right risk. So when I had the first move, first of all, I should have sold there. Because this wasn't a single. Because if this was just the first green day, then yeah, sell into the strength. But this was a big picture move, so I should have held through all this. I don't know why. Okay, this sell nice, right? But then why would I move my risk to 22? That was too early. You still have to stick with your, because this was my core position, and you have to, for that shares, you have to use the same risk level, almost throw the move. So yeah, I just got emotional here, because not emotional, but because every time I sell before risk, that's not because I'm scared to lose money. It's because I just don't want to have a bad sell.
Yeah.
So here so that was my risk, right? So I sold, and then here I was completely lost with my another third. I didn't know what to do, and then I just decided like I'm selling when it breaks this 12. I don't know why. I just said it. So and then when it broke it, I just sold down ticked right here, and then it bounced perfectly and close to the high day.
Man.
So yeah, like this day I learned a huge lesson. Like next time this happens, no way I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna just stick to the same risk.
Yeah.
And then see, it never broke my risk, never. It didn't even touch. See, there was even green red. It didn't even touch green red. So yeah.
And man, did you learn a super important lesson here.
And then And then literally the
That
next day, I used that lesson. So let's see. This was a small single there, like $20. Then next day started my best trade ever. Not money wise, just how I traded it.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Wait. So look, this is beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah, I was
That
waiting
is
for Sam
amazing.
to see it. So I entered right here. Look, you don't see the notes because yeah. So this was I entered actually before the perk because on the level 2, because I learned the lesson also. So you don't enter the order as soon as it breaks the risk. I mean the level, because you can just jump quickly. So as soon as I saw the like level 2 he like lifting up all that, I entered, but it was a fake out. But okay, well I still have my risk. And then when it broke, it quickly went to 42. So there was no way to fill there. So I had a nice entry here. Risk just 2%, even less, because 2% is just with 224. And then right away we had the little move, and then see this, I held nothing here. Then midday dip, I wasn't even scared, nothing. And then I held all day, and then here, that was when I had my ENZC trade somewhere here. So all this time when it was having this push, I was just looking at the ENZC, and I was like looking at the small price on this. I was like, let's go, because that day was like my best day ever. I literally got to ENZC, that started to spike, and then this started to spike. I felt like Jack Helk.
Yes. Yes.
So it closed at 28, and I was up 8R at that moment.
Yeah.
And I didn't sell anything.
8R, baby.
As opposed to last day when I was up like 4R and I sold right away.
Dang.
So I learned the lesson right away. And also important thing, I'm not really important, just the thing that I wish I did. So here the day before I deposited more money to my Schwab from E-Trade, and I had only 500 settled. But then when I opened my platform, I saw that I have like all the money that I deposited also. It says settle to trade. But I didn't use that because I was scared, like, because I just transferred that. You don't have that money settled right away.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna use that because imagine if it's not settled and I use, and then it dumps, I have to sell. But I can't. So I used only half of the position, and then the reason why I traded ENZC because it turned out that I could use that money. So then that means I could have used half of my, I mean, twice the amount that I used here, but it doesn't matter because execution is the most important. I'm just like a little thing. So then the next day we had
Trend hold.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, the next all the notes. So next day we had a nice gap. Yeah. So we had morning panic on like here, and my risk at that time was still this, because you have to have the same risk as your core position.
Yeah.
That was my same risk. Here I wanted to another lesson learned. Here I wanted to add, but when I was calculating my position sizes, I used the same risk here. But that's wrong. Yeah, on the ads you have to risk a separate level because you have to treat as two positions, two different trades.
Yeah.
Because why risk all the way down? Because like if it goes down, then just cut it right away and then add lower. So yeah, I was like a little hesitant there. Not hesitant. That's like took some time and then it bounced quickly here.
Yeah.
So my plan wasn't so that this happens right away. I wasn't planning for this. I wanted it to like consolidate a little, but then when it just started to like, and also this wasn't like a exhaustion move. This was just a grinding move. So when I got to 32, I realized that that's 17R from my entry. So I was like, okay, let's sell.
Jeez.
Let's sell at least something. So
okay, let's sell something at 17R. Yeah.
So I sold third there. Then I was like, okay, let's chill now, consolidate, and then have the move in the end of the day. It's like, nope, we're doing everything today. And it's back to like more and all. So every time I sell into the strength, I sell the ask. Always, because you have to buy my shares. I'm not gonna like sell what you want the price. You're just gonna pay my price. So I just put the order at 3, 4, 5. I was at the ask sitting there, and then got it right away. Almost top tick here. 23R. So I remember in the last episode when I was going over SFR trade, I said that my first sell was at 5R, which was crazy. And now looking here, the first sell at 17R. So
This is
yeah,
insane, man.
so
Well done.
crazy, yeah. And the like
Freaking awesome.
I know traders who so see my first position was I counted from my first position that was 36R if I didn't sell.
Wow.
If I didn't sell from here, see this position, look, never broke any risk. Look, you move your risk up, it never breaks up, just ride the wave. Yeah, so this taught me a very valuable lesson. Then so I had my half left, right? Then I was like, okay, let me, because the breakouts, they tend to have the first move, because this was the first move. And then you have to consolidate, you know? So I wasn't expecting anything. I mean, I expected a Swiss on them break, but when it broke down, I was like, okay, let me just hold it. And also I moved my risk up here, but then the next day I moved it back again. I moved it to my entry because I talked with other traders and they said like, so right now you're risking your entry to make 2 or 3x of time, because you can, if it breaks this level and then goes more like 50, that's like, you know, and it was possible in this market because, you know, we're starting it up, all that. So then this day it was just it was just a red day. That was okay.
Yeah.
And my risk was here, and then next day it had this dump. I mean, it was very unfortunate. Yeah, I really had hopes for this, but whatever, it broke my risk, and right away I sold. Because
Discipline, very good discipline.
Right away I sold
Yeah.
here, and then it had this stupid bounce. So look, this, it didn't hold half of the spike. Look, if you go here, look, see, this was the first move here, and then this was half. It just broke down all the way down. So this is not what this breakout should do. So I have no regret in selling at all.
Yeah.
Because when I locked in here, this trade became like a win-win, 100%. Even if it like broke down to like, I don't know, 20, because I was like very comfortable. So I was just risking on my other half to make like a big move, because he could have broke out more. And I know some traders, they're still holding because they have entries here and you're comfortable, you know. You just made 50% on your half of the position, so like everything is achieved already. So just might as well risk little for huge more. So
yeah, absolutely.
So this was a crazy ride, like 3 days. Wow. The only thing I focused on.
Well done, man. That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Absolutely beautiful.
Overall, this was 1 to 10 risk reward from here. That was like
freaking amazing.
That was like $80. I mean, it was 88 and then 20 here, so like I don't know, like 114, but it doesn't matter. And also the thing is, if I used twice the amount, but just because I could, you know, I could with my risk $20. But yeah.
Yeah, and if you added, and if you didn't know that you could have traded your cash.
Yeah, and also I forgot to say, my plan for every day was to add, but it never offered like a nice. Even that panic, it wasn't like a. So on ads, I want to add on confirmation. The panic was a confirmation. So maybe that was good that I didn't add.
Wow. Well done, bro. I'm really proud of you for this one. It puts all of your hard work that you've been doing, all the lessons that you've been learning, and you just implemented it all. You've got the discipline, you got the patience, you've got just processing through it, playing the chart. Really well done.
Yeah, Alex, it was a heck of a time listening to you and looking at all your commentary and spectating this trade. And it took you 3 days, but it was just, as Sam said, such an amazing process. Ride the wave, like you said. And I know for a fact that you are prepared to do this over and over and over again.
Every day.
So many times.
No, every day,
So looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, and by the way, let's look at this thing. I have a starter right here.
Hey,
that's right.
That's not even $10 risk. Because see, it's crypto related stock, and Bitcoin is coming back. So
Ethereum too.
Look, we have so much room here. Like this resistance, you can break easily. And if it goes to this resistance, I am okay already. It's like 80%.
Yeah.
And this is also a breakout here. So this is perfect. This is perfect. And if you look at the thing, so I entered here. on this dip, or here. I don't remember. Let me see. That was 9. Oh, I don't. So here, somewhere here I entered.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
But that was 17 and 5. The spread, oh my god. I had my order at 17 and 5, and I wasn't even showing on the bid. The bid was like 37. I mean, yeah. So my limit was at 37.5. All the orders were going below that, but not me. But then finally I got executed, and my risk is, so first the risk if I entered from somewhere here would have been this, so that would have been a tiny position. But then as the time went, the risk became so my risk right now is 35.5.
Yeah.
So this is like $9. So I took like 400 shares. So this is a small position, very small. But then tomorrow on Monday, if it gaps up and breaks the 40 level, I may add if you have a trigger also. And I want to show this clean thing. Look how it held the breakout level.
Yes. Here. Wow.
Yeah, I just saw it today. Like the technical analysis, it just works beautiful.
Alex may add on Monday, and me and Xander are also watching this. Now that we've got settled.
And another similar one is this. This is absolutely beautiful on the daily chart.
Oh yeah.
Look, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this I'm watching also for a swing for like entry somewhere here, and like add on the trend break, I think. So this two are like prime for the, and also in ZC too, right? So all stocks are like we're looking for swings, you know. Remember I said in the previous episode, so we're seeing some here. This is also like a little breakout here with the, because you can go all the way here, you know. You never know.
Dang.
Oh,
very cool, man. I love to see it, bro.
Well,
amazing.
That's all. And yeah, on the September recap, I posted my recap also in Profitly and in the description. I made like $100, but the only important thing was that I stuck to all my rules, all my setups. Like I didn't had any mistakes this month. Let's see, I have only one mistake on the trade, and this mistake was, this was on when I didn't follow my risk. So on TLSS, all the lessons I learned was risk. You have to risk the right level. Don't move risk too early. Have the risk on your core position, and then on the ads use another risk level. So the TLSS alone, I improved like 5% on that overall. So yeah, super excited for the next month.
Dang.
Oh, also I forgot to add the TLSS trade. I closed it on Friday, so I didn't count it my September thing recap. Yeah, so that's a nice.
Yeah, that's
start.
important.
That's a nice start of October.
So clean, bro. So clean.
Amazing. Awesome. So, Alex, is that all you got? Anything else?
Yeah, and the last thing, here. So this is my scaling up plans.
Oh yeah.
So next week I'm starting with $25 risk. Oh, and also, remember I said my goal was to lose $20, right?
Yeah.
I didn't
do it.
Sorry. I had only one loss. It was like $6 because I remember that panic. Because that was the first time when I had more wins than losses.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm still moving because I wanted to move like a month ago. So let's move right now. So next month I'm starting with 25. And then if I have a week that's 2 hours or more, it's like $50. And I trade well, then I up it another $5. So $30 risk. If I have it break even, like $40 gain or $40 loss, and I still traded well, that's also important. I don't do anything. We will go with the same size. But then if I have the bad week, yeah, so red week, it means any red week with trading poorly, that's minus. And then if I have a big week but still trade well, that wouldn't happen if I trade well and have it. So yeah, I just go back to the risk to the previous risk I had. So yeah, super excited. Let's see how it goes, because I never used $25 risk, to be honest.
Yeah.
But now is the time. I always said, like, when I sized back down in March, that I wanted the market to tell me when to size back up. So this is the time.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Love it. Great job, Alex. All right, so I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna do a brief September little mini recap quick. I'm gonna speak in terms of R instead of P&L. It's gonna make things a
Nice.
lot easier. So yeah, as you guys know, August was not very good for me, but so I lost like 8 R in August. September, I made like 1.5 R, but I don't care about that at all. What I care about is the changes I made from the beginning of September to the last week and a half of September. The 17th, 20th, and 24th, 17th, 20th, and 21st were 3 days that I just completely let my discipline go. And I recognized it. And after that Tuesday, the 21st, I was like, okay, I got to change things. I underwent an entire new like mental focus, started reiterating stuff to myself that I knew in the past, but wasn't implementing. From that Wednesday, the 22nd to now, I've just completely changed the way I look at the market, the way I look at my trades, and the way I analyze what I'm seeing in live trading action. So yeah, like I said, the last week and a half has been great. Let me share this really quick before I start. So from the August 18th, about halfway through August, like I said, that month wasn't very good for me. The first half of September wasn't very good for me in terms of just completely with my discipline, but the last bit has been getting better. I was able to break this triple top of resistance here in my past 30 days P&L, which I'm not focused on this at all. I really don't care. All this shows me is that I'm finally finding what works and what's up?
You should care for this. You shouldn't care about the numbers.
Right. Yeah. The number, the number's very small. That's because my risk is small. But
the thing that it broke the zero number, this is important.
Yes, I definitely agree. So this just helped me realize that, okay, I'm finding what I like. My changes have been paying off, and it's just every day is a new opportunity, but it's always the same focus and the same mindset every single day. So that's about it. I ended up, let me see if there's anything. Yeah, like I said, the last week of September, I more than doubled my win rate from under 35% to over 70%. I was 5 out of 7 on trades in the last week of September. And I had my new best week of more than 3R. So that's always good. And yeah, so that's it for September. Just the ending has been completely different from the beginning. Yeah. Leaps and bounds in terms of the trader I was in the beginning and the trader I am now. And yeah, just completely fixing my mindset, emotions, and all that stuff. Anyways, I don't like talking about the past too much because all we can change is the future, and the next trade is the only one that matters. So with that being said, let me just recap this past week really quick. This was my first trade on Monday. This was one of my losses on the week, and this taught me a very valuable lesson that sticks in my head every day that I trade. Let me go to the daily chart. This is RCAT. This was a random gap up spiker right here, and after this stock for the rest of the week, every single stock that would randomly gap up like this, I freaking left it alone. I left it alone because they all have the same thing. This stock, RCAT, BMRA, there was another one that started with an N. They all do the same thing. They gap up, they run early in pre-market. They consolidate early, making it look like that they're going to form a wedge break, but they get super trappy and they automatically dump. So after this stock, I learned that lesson and I didn't trade any more of these. There could have been ones that I did, but I left them alone after I found what I don't like with these. So this was a perfect wedge break out the open, just completely working like line to line, matching up with my 2 trend lines right here. Bought the perfect trend break on increasing volume, just dumped back down to VWAP. I was risking a break of right here at 385. Realistically, I should have risked a break of VWAP, but I ended up risking right here at the bottom of these 3 candles right here. So if I could have done it again, I would risk underneath VWAP, but I just don't like playing these random one-day spiker stocks. They're just not my thing. I'd much rather look for a stock that's been proving itself for a few days. Now I don't look for these one-day spikers anymore. Those are, I just don't look at them because they're not part of my process. So if it's not part of my process, I'm leaving it. Let me move on to Emran from
Focus
Tuesday.
on the best, leave the rest.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Okay, so this is Emran on Tuesday. So this was I had another trade on this week, and the gain was a little bit more. But this one I feel like is more worthy to go over because of the patience that I have now before what I had a few weeks ago. The day before this, as you guys can see, I had a small win. I should have, gave it more time, but given the market environment, I was just getting out, taking my gain and leaving. But I want to talk more about this trade instead. I was looking for not looking for. It ended up presenting me the same thing that it did yesterday. So it had that spike right out the gate under VWAP, started making higher lows, drew my trend line, and I kept my risk down here under 990, and I just held through all this chop. If this was me 2 weeks ago, I 100% would have set a stop loss right here and gotten stopped out at 1009. I know for a fact because that's what I would have done a few weeks ago, but now I don't do that. I waited for the big run to come. I actually got a really great exit here at 10:30, and then it ended up just dumping and fading for the rest of the freaking day. So especially in this market environment, I'm being super, super careful. I'm not overstaying my welcome. Once the follow through comes back, I will start adapting. But for now, I'm just here to take what the market gives me, and that is just smaller trades like this, smaller 1R, 1.5, 2R trades, and just moving on to the next one. So that's all I got for Emrin. It happened the same thing the day before, and then I was waiting for it again, and it happened again. So I knew exactly what to look for. Then let me go on to GREE from Wednesday. This I was looking for a big first green day on. Let me move our faces. Okay, so this was this was the day I traded it, and as you can see, it has much more volume than it had the past multiple weeks. And this was a perfect time for the first green day. This one kind of failed, but this one had a ton of volume, and I was like, all right, looking for a great first green day on this. This was on Wednesday. Huge spike in pre-market after it gapped up. So gap up, consolidated in pre-market. I honestly really should have been looking for this freaking pre-market wedge break right here, but I just wasn't for some reason. Anyways, spike up out the open, comes back under VWAP, starts making higher lows, drew my trend line, waited for the break. That's my bread and butter morning setup right now. And this one was quick. From what I'm finding in the morning is I know if my trade's going to work if I'm in the money right away. If I have to wait a super long time, then something's up for me. My best trades have been where I'm in the money right away and I'm entered in. It's almost like if I didn't get in that right exact second, I'd be missing it. So waited for the confirmation, got this trend line break. And as I said, this one was super quick. It ended up chopping around in this little mini channel right here. Tried to come back up and test, but it ended up failing in the long run and going red on the day. But I'm just happy I was able to spot my bread and butter, exactly what I'm looking for. Exit here once I saw weakness. And given the market environment, I wasn't going to wait in the chop. Once the market heats up again, I will be much more patient. But as we know, the listed market isn't super good with the follow through. So for now, I'm just going to stick with what is given to me. And one more thing before we get into like our open discussion. I know Sam had something to talk about. I'm not going to be super long, but so I mentioned earlier how I changed a lot of things psychologically. As Sam said earlier, he's really getting in touch with his morning routine. And that has been really important for me also. Before I go to bed and when I wake up and when I sit down at the computer, I say my same trading rules that I've been focusing on for the past week and a half. And that has helped me like truly reiterate it before I sit down at the computer. See, now I know exactly when I'm in my freaking trading zone, and it is night and day from a few weeks ago. A few weeks ago, I was getting all antsy. I was like, oh, I'm hyped. Let's go. Let's trade. Time to find stuff. Trying to find my setups. Go. Let's expect this. Make this assumption here. Now, dude, I freaking sit there and I look like I want to. Okay, never mind. I don't look like I want to die, but I'm just completely emotionless. My face is just nothing. Like the way that I am in my trading zone versus the way that I am as like normal is just night and day. And I'm so happy that I've been able to find that. And now I know that when I'm not in that zone, it's better just to not trade because it's so important to find that psychological element. And it's like, okay, it's just me. It's here. What's the market, the opportunities that are giving me? If it's on my edge, I'm not touching it. And that has been super, super important for me. And it all comes down to 4 easy things: observe, edge, criteria, execute, and then move on. That's it. That's it. I say that to in my brain, and along with a bunch of other rules, and just kind of reinforcing those lessons over and over and over again until eventually I won't have to use my physical checklist before I make a trade. I won't have to say that stuff to myself every single day. But for now, I have to ingrain it in my head, and then in the future, next few months, year, whatever, it'll be muscle memory, and I'll just be able to trade with that clear, free state of mind that is so important, that we all long for, and that is truly going to make us successful in the long run. So that's all I've got for me.
Oh.
That's it. Yep.
That's awesome. Wow. That's really good. I mean, I've seen the change over you, and I know people watching the episodes too have over the last couple weeks as you've gone through your losses and the lessons that you've learned from them at the beginning of September, and then followed through to where you are now, even how you present yourself, how you're talking about your trades. I mean, everything. There's just this level of calm and confidence that I feel from you that, like, it's powerful. That's really, really sweet.
I appreciate that, Sam. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, love it. Well, let's go into a little bit of open discussion. Kind of talk about whatever you want to, coming weeks, whatnot. For me, this is where I had something I wanted to talk about briefly, and I kind of touched on it a little bit when I was going over my trade. But for me, that trade signified an adjustment that I've been needing to make in my mentality and my process and in my trading, because I've always been such an overthinker, and I've always just, tried to outsmart the market, outsmart every process, consider every variable. And the reality is you just can't do that. And so this for me was following a process, keeping it simple, and executing without hesitation. And that is exactly the type of trader that I want to be for the future. And the reason that this trade was so powerful is I felt like when I took this trade, I cracked open this door that I've been trying to bust through. I've been trying to make this leap in my trading. And through this one trade, I was finally able to crack open this door. And in the future, or in the past, I've had situations like that where I've gotten these open doors and I've had some breakthrough, but I never took advantage of it. And I was always just kind of like, oh, well, I don't know. I'd overthink it. I would worry about it. I would lose discipline. I would get tired. I would take a rest, things like that. But this time, I swear to God, guys, I am not letting this door close. I've got a headspace. I've got a process, and I know that it works. And like I talked about earlier and Lance touched on, everything is where it needs to be. I've got a morning routine. I'm hitting hard. I know when I wake up, when I go to sleep on time and I wake up, I feel myself, I feel my energy, my focus. And when I can capture that and cultivate it, I am not allowing myself to lose this chance. And if that means busting through this door, breaking a couple things, taking some losses, I'm going to do that because I need to take advantage of this momentum that has been, that I feel like I've carried through over the last couple of weeks of losses that I was building up, and I executed and kind of profited from that on this win, and now taking that into the coming months and into October. So, just ending that off with that's what I'm going into this week. That's what I'm going into October with, and just majorly proud of all of us for I just feel like October, we have all worked so hard and we've set up this foundation, and we are all seeing this breakout happen in ourselves and our charts and our emotions and our process and our discipline. And I feel like this breakout is going to lead to all-time highs without a doubt.
Yeah, Sam, I love that part that you mentioned about keeping that door open and not letting it close. It's kind of like how the market works. Like, we think that the market's going to heat up and then it just shuts itself right off. But we can't control the market. We can only control what we do and how we interpret, how we look at the market. And now that Sam said he's ready, he has no hesitation. He knows exactly what I'm looking for. You said you're going to keep that door open. I say freaking bust the whole damn door frame down so that door can't close anymore afterwards anyways. You just freaking take the door off of its hinges and it's freaking blue skies from here. Love it.
Absolutely.
So something I want to say that this week I really felt like the change, like how like all the hard work a little started to pay off. And one thing that I'm guilty about that Cham just talked about, like I tried having like a good morning routine, but always, I don't know, something just don't work. So for the next week, I really want to, because even if I had that good of a week without having a routine, what can I do if I have a solid routine? So this is going to be like 20 times better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really focused on that. Also, another thing I forgot to say in the thing when I said about September, but I said in the last episode that I broke above break even, and I remember I said it in the Twitter that all I see now is blue skies,
Yeah.
and it also like corresponds to my new mindset of a big picture trader, like how I played on the TLSS. So yeah, this is a new thing because I before that I didn't have that mindset, but now I developed that and ready for the next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And of course, we're including Xander in all of this. He's not here, but I mean, I know he's got this just major foundation that he has formed and that he is just ready to go into October. And, you know, I've got some biases, of course. You know, I want him to succeed, but also I want that hat, man. So we'll see. We'll see how he goes.
I also like the part that you said that you have a strict process. It's like I think it's all of us here, like you, me, Lance, Xander. We know what to. I mean, Xander, well, he does know for now, right?
He knows for now. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we have everything. And I remember like in the previous one, on the previous, Xander said that well, like every day we'll literally see $1 million traders like trades. Like
Yeah.
you see the moment where some millionaire trader just entered.
Yeah.
So you just have to like just practice, you know, because like at this point there's nothing else we can learn. Obviously there is. I mean, like about our specific setups, we just have to practice a million times.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It makes me think of something that I remember Jack Kellogg talking about. He was the one who really sticks with me. He said this in a podcast or something, but he said, I always used to think that there was just going to be this moment where like, I was like, oh my God, I've made it, right? And that type, and it was like, oh, this aha, whatever. But he said he realized that it just happened. Like he would just wake up and be like, I'm doing it. Like it's happening.
Yeah.
And there wasn't one specific moment where it was like, oh, this is the thing that I broke through. It was just this moment where he realized, wait, I have been doing it. Like I've reached the point where I want to. And I feel like we're coming into that where we're reaching that moment where it's like, oh shit, like it's happening type of thing.
Yeah, I think Hari was asked the same question about when was your first aha moment, and he said, they said like, what was your aha moment? And he said, I didn't have one, I had a lot of small ones.
Yeah.
So I think that I had the first one this week. I had like the first little one,
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I feel that exactly
Yeah,
with my trade.
yeah,
My
yeah.
trade was just that first little.
Yeah, same thing with.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Because like obviously my trade was small size, but it's like
Yeah.
look at my chart. That chart looks like Bao. That chart looks like Alex. Like that is the chart that I want to be in the future. And so I was like, oh shit, like was that first little, like you said, that first little aha moment. Like, okay.
I remember when I had my 2 cells on TLSS, I DM'd one of the traders and I'm like, bro, he's like, whoa, yo, what? I'm like, unbelievable. He's like, what? And I posted the chart. He's like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
That was Garrick. He was like, holy shit, bro, that's nice. And then he posted his chart and my sales was even better than his. He stopped a little earlier. I was like, oh my God, because I always dreamed of like having like an early entry and writing all the way up. And I guess I did it because see, I didn't understand it at the moment. It was like I get it. Like I was like, oh, I'm getting it like a little.
Yeah, it just happened. You're like, oh, it's done. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
man.
I love that part that you guys were talking about, or Sam, how you were talking about just the change in mindset that you now have that we all are coming into right now. Obviously, Xander's not here to talk about this, but the fact that we are recognizing that the aha moment doesn't come in only one circumstance, it comes over a certain like time period, as you guys were talking about with Jack and with Huddy. Sam, Sam, you were talking about your chart and how amazing it was, and then you were talking about your morning routine. Alex, you were talking about your like mini aha moment in TLSS, as well as how like you're thinking of like looking for your swings and stuff in the future. And I just feel like the mindset shift that we have all had as of very recent has just been, I mean, it's been stuff we're like thinking about over the past like few months, but as of like the past like few weeks, we've like been able to harness it. And like Sam said, we're coming into that aha moment stage, not dollar wise, but just like the point when we feel all of it coming together. And I think that we're on the verge and we're on the brink of that all happening for us right now. So
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah, it's really exciting. And I feel like, unless you guys got anything else, I feel like that's a really great way to end it with what Lance was saying there. But I'm so excited for the future. I'm so proud of all of us. I feel like I think harnessing, what you said there, was the perfect word. Like, we are all starting to be able to harness the fruits of our labor and really implement what we have worked so hard to build. So I'm really excited for all of us going into October, going into the end of this year. I hope all of you guys watching, you are also, making leaps and bounds towards your progress. Don't grow stale. Don't grow tired. Don't give up. Don't become discouraged. Like, even if you have those moments, don't let it keep you down. Like, just keep getting up. Just keep swimming, because it will come and it'll be worth it. And I'm speaking that for anybody out there. I'm speaking that for all of us. And what you got, Alex?
Yeah, the thing that you said, don't give up, is like the most obvious quote, right?
Yeah.
This is the truest thing. Like, I remember I had so many, like, not the thing that I was thinking about giving up, but a lot of struggles, like in April, May, when I remember April, the whole month I took like 3 trades. I was literally scared to click the buy. And
Yes.
and also the thing with aha moments, like the transition, like when I started trading again, that wasn't like one day I woke up like, okay, now I'm ready to trade. It was like very, very smoothly. I'm like, okay, now I see, like, because I developed like a new process and thing, and then I started to trade again.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're like in the lows, you just have to, I don't know, like, just grind. That's what I did. Like, I watched all the videos, like everything, and then slowly you're gonna come back.
Yeah.
love
Absolutely.
it.
It's
I
not how many
couldn't-
times you've been knocked out. It's how many times you stand back up.
Yeah.
Love it. I couldn't have said it better than myself. Sam, the way that you said, just keep swimming. Alex, you said, don't give up. I saw this quote on Twitter today that said, in trading, if you're not prepared to give 4 or 5+ years towards becoming successful, then don't even start.
Yeah.
This is a long journey. It is a process. But once, like Sam said, once you start recognizing the fruits of your labor and all the hard work that you put in and never giving up, once you find that, it's awesome, but you got to put in the work first.
Yeah.
A lot of it too, because there's going to be times, like Alex was saying, like he was like super scared, but now look where he is now. Like, look where he is now. He's freaking holding swings for days now. But yeah, you guys summed it up perfectly. Great way to end the episode. Sam, go ahead and take us out.
And last quote.
Yeah.
Everyone, fasten your seatbelts. We're about to take off.
Yes. All right. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We'll see you next week. Keep grinding, keep hitting it, and y'all have a good week. All right.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Cheers. See you guys. Because they all have the same
I did
pattern.
it again.
I did it again. I do that every freaking episode. So I did it again. Damn it. I need to remove the freaking 1 day, 1 minute.